I'd like to go back in time to a president you might have heard of for the wrong reasons, Herbert Hoover. Now, when you think of Herbert Hoover, you might think of the Great Depression, but I'd also like to talk about homelessness. Even though homelessness arose as a national issue in the 1870s, the Great Depression of the 1930s saw a substantial rise in homelessness. Homelessness is defined as a situation of an individual or family without a house or the means of acquiring it. Obviously, homelessness is a big issue in the U.S., as according to usfacts.org, 1 in 500 Americans in January 2023 was experiencing homelessness. Now, when you're given these facts, you're met with an intriguing question. What can we actually do to reduce homelessness? Well, to reduce homelessness, we need to lower inflation, encourage federal housing assistance, and implement a crisis response system. Now, that may seem a bit much, so let me break it down. In order to reduce homelessness, we need to reduce inflation because inflation is one of the major causes of homelessness. According to endhomelessness.org, 58% of former leaseholders experiencing homelessness lost housing due to economic conditions. Additionally, according to the National Health Institute, inflation is one of the major causes of homelessness. In fact, housing inflation made up 1/5 of all inflation in 2022. Currently, the national inflation rate in America is 3.15%, which is the highest we've had in decades. In order to reduce this, Congress needs to pass supply-side policy reforms that adhere to the Federal Reserve's attempt to cool demand through monetary tightening. Supply-side policy reforms are very simply a policy reform that makes a particular market or industry more efficient and productive. The theory being that government interference will stimulate growth and employment. Several U.S. presidents have previously tried to pass supply-side policy reforms, and inflation was the lowest under them. This shows that in order to reduce homelessness in America, we need to reduce inflation because it is one of the major causes. Another way to reduce homelessness in America is by encouraging federal housing assistance. According to Coalition for the Homeless, federal housing assistance is one of the most successful housing-based solutions to reduce homelessness in America. The two biggest federal housing assistance programs are Section 8 vouchers and Housing Choice vouchers. The Section 8 Housing Choice vouchers program is a program that pays assistance rental pay to eligible low-income families, elderly, or disabled people. Additionally, federal housing assistance rises 3 million people from poverty. Of the 3 million people that they rose above the poverty line in 2018, 665,000 of them were elderly people, the most raised by any government program except Social Security, and 936,000 of them were children. This shows that to reduce homelessness in America, we should encourage federal housing assistance. Finally, the last way to reduce homelessness in America is by issuing a crisis response system. According to the Alliance to End Homelessness, a crisis response system would be able to identify the homeless people, prevent homelessness, and connect these people to shelter. An effective crisis response system would be able to achieve these goals through the following. Outreach workers would be able to find these homeless people and connect them to shelter and rapid rehousing. Additionally, prevention and diversion would play a component in an effective crisis response system and could even lower a community's homeless population. Consequently, an effective crisis response system would be able to reduce homelessness and connect these people to housing programs such as rapid rehousing. This works because it connects communities and societies to a common goal to make homelessness rare, brief, and non-recurring. All in all, to reduce homelessness in America, we need to lower inflation by implementing supply-side policy reforms, encourage federal housing assistance, and issue an effective crisis response system.